It's 6 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call the Tazewell County Board meeting to order. John, call the roll, please.
Atkins?
Here.
Crawford? Deppert?
Here.
Mark Goddard?
Here.
Sam Goddard?
Here.
Graff?
Here.
Hall?
Here.
Harris?
Here.
Josting?
Here.
Grable?
Here.
Longfellow?
Here.
Mennel?
Here.
Mingus?
Here.
Nels?
Here.
Paget?
Here.
Frail?
Here.
Rich Simpson? Schneider? Sen?
Here.
Smith?
Here.
Chairman Zimmerman?
Here.
You have a quorum?
We have a quorum. We'll do business. We can rise for the invocation and pledge, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for being such a faithful God. We see your faithfulness in the seasons, and we thank you for the warm weather and the cold weather, and we know that you're a good God. Thank you for this board and bringing us together. I pray that we can debate these issues in a way that honors you and honors our citizens and arrive at decisions that are best for all the taxpayers. Thanks for our employees that are here tonight and that work for us. Thank you for their dedication. Thank you for all the citizens of Tazewell County. I pray that we can honor them with the things that we say and do here. Thank you for our first responders and their willingness to put their lives on the line to protect us, and we thank you for that. We know there's so much chaos in this world, Father, but we know you're sovereign, and we take hope in that. Thank you for being faithful to us, even when we're unfaithful. We love you, Lord, and we pray all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, for the first business tonight, I'd like to get a motion for E2433 to appoint John Hopkins to the board. Motion by Mennel, second by Sin. Are there any questions? Yes, Bill.
Mr. Chairman, at this point, I would like to move to postpone this particular item until our March meeting. And if I have a second, I can give an explanation of why it is that I'm moving that.
Second by Paget.
I don't want to get into a lengthy debate, but this particular appointment is appointing one person to the position who is actually running for county board member from District 2. That's fine, except that there are 4 people running for county board member from District 2, and this allows this particular individual to run as an incumbent, which would not be something that he would be able to do if not for this vote taking place prior to the primary. So for that reason, so that we are not as a board saying that this individual has some greater preference than the other 3 individuals, also Republicans, that he's running against, I am asking that it be postponed until March.
So, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I'll be voting no on this because we do have a process that's been in place for a long time. There may be advantages, there may be disadvantages. I think we ought to go on with the process, so I'm going to oppose this amendment.
Greg.
I agree with Mike. We're having problems meeting quorums because of absent board people that have resigned. So the quicker these are filled, the better.
I want to thank the chairman for putting the name forward in a timely manner, and I agree because I second this bill. The concern, of course, is we're just a little over 2 weeks away for the election. I did have some constituents call me representing another candidate. They had brought it to my attention, and actually I was going to talk about it as well, so I'm glad Bill brought this up. Their concern is just, hey, let the process play out. The election is just a couple of weeks away, and what's 2 weeks if it means fairness and integrity of the election. So, I'm in favor of doing this. I'd like to even hear from Mr. Hopkins, who I'm very excited, who will be joining us as a board member. And, I think, perhaps he too would, see that these constituents are going to be his constituents, so I'm certain that he would like to, make sure that the public interest is always first. Thank you.
So this is a part of the process, and we do have a great board member here. And I would encourage everyone to vote this postponement down. I do know that John won't be able to make the March meeting, and I would bring his name forward next. Well, it still would be here if we postpone, so I would encourage everyone to vote this down. Greg?
I oppose this amendment. I don't think just over 2 weeks is gonna make any difference or give anybody an advantage, so I think we should move ahead.
So a yes would postpone this, and no would, we'll move forward. All those in favor of this signify by aye.
Aye.
Can I see hands raised? Okay, the postponement fails.
Wait a minute. Atkins.
Can you raise your hands high?
Can we do a roll call, please?
Yeah.
Roll call.
Atkins.
Aye.
Crawford. Deppert.
Aye.
Mark Goddard.
No.
Sam Goddard.
Yes.
Graff.
Present.
Hall.
Yes.
Harris.
No.
Josting.
Yes.
Crable.
No.
Longfellow.
Yes.
Mennel.
No.
Mingus.
No.
Nelms. No. Pageant.
Aye.
Creel.
No.
Rich Stimson. Schneider. Sen.
No.
Smith.
No.
Postponement is defeated. Back to the original motion. Any questions on Mr. Hopkins? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye. Aye.
Atkins. Who else? Pageant.
Who are the hands? Okay. All right.
Present.
Present.
John, if you could come forward, we'll swear you in.
Repeat after me. I state your first name.
I, Jonathan Hopkins,
Having been appointed
having been appointed
to the office of
to the office of County Board District 2
in the county of Tazewell,
in the County of
in
Tazewell,
the state of Illinois,
in the state of Illinois,
after said, do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of the
Constitution
United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the
of
Constitution
the state of Illinois,
of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of
County Board District 2
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thank you. You want to come over here and sign? Our office will get you a copy in the mail. Thank you.
Congratulations, John. All right, communications from members of the public and county employees. Carl Lutz.
As you all may or may not know, I am also a candidate for District 2. And what I just witnessed just confirms how I feel about the way that this county is run. Let me tell you a little experience about my life with taxes in Tazewell County. When I went into business 27 years ago, the county, I had to get a special use permit, all right? So I went through all the process to get the special use permit, and the county saw fit to change the zoning of the properties around my property, so that I would have to go through, if I ever expanded my business, I would have to go through the process again, so that they could charge more money. Now, when you treat people like that, you're not treating them like constituents, all right? Y'all raised our taxes with the assessment, and then you saw fit to raise it another 5%. That's treating people like marks. You're not treating them like constituents. You didn't earn $1 of their money, but you didn't have a problem spending it. And if you don't see a problem with that, you're part of the problem. All right? When I bought my property that I have out on Red Shale, you automatically, when you get a building permit or a special use permit, I bought 10 acres. It was already zoned agricultural. All right? It's zoned agricultural. But they saw fit to change the zoning, or not the zoning, they changed the tax rate to residential. So instead of paying agricultural on my 10 acres, they taxed me at the residential rate. Now I had to file papers to get it changed back to agricultural. Which, you know, you shouldn't treat people like that. You should set it, the tax rate at the lowest rate. When they set my tax rate on my house, they didn't use houses within the 2-mile radius that they're supposed to use. They went all the way into Morton to get houses that were close to the value of my house. Now you can't tell me that's the right way to treat people. You should treat people like you want to be treated, not like you want to cheat them. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? It might be hard. I mean, you're seeing fit, you're going to embark on a big adventure. You're going to try and spend $24 million ARP money. You want to make sure that that's approved. Now I want you to think about this. That isn't your money. You're spending that money, and that's going to add more money to the deficit of the country. You should let it go back. You had $44 million surplus dollars. All right? $44 million. That means you're charging people too much money to begin with. If you have $44 million extra dollars, where's it coming from? It comes from the people. And you should keep that in mind. Now, whether you need this courthouse or not, I'm not sure. But I do know that when Pekin built their school, they had a surplus tax revenue. So they built a school over by Wilson. They have never recovered. They can't even fix Court Street. Have you guys checked into that? Have you looked forward? Are you forward looking? Do you understand? We have bridges that are old on our roads that are going to have to be replaced. What did it cost to replace the road, the bridge that goes over Lost Creek there by Furrow Road? What did it cost? Because I know the one farther up Furrow Road, or excuse me, it's Main Street, South Pekin, is going to have to be replaced pretty soon. Because it's easily as old as the one that was just replaced. Are you guys thinking about these things when you embark on this? You want to get a building built? You want to hurry up and use money that really should go back to the country? Nothing really frustrates me like, oh, we're getting to the end of our budget. Let's hurry up and spend the money. Especially government money. That's not your money. You should let it go back. It's the people's money. You're going to add that money. Okay, so it doesn't charge Tazewell County, but it goes to the national deficit. Have you seen how fast it is climbing? Do you think about that? Think about that for a minute. I know you're going to be out of office pretty soon. You're going to retire. You're going to leave your mark on the county with the new courthouse. Is that a good thing? Let's all think about what we're doing. All right? Tax money is the people's money. You have a responsibility to pay attention, to take care. You are the custodians of the people's money. You're the custodians of the people's safety. Now, when you put this new courthouse up, you're going to have to spend money on at least 2 new police officers. They're not going to be patrolling. They're not going to be looking after the people's safety. They're going to be in the courthouse. And you'll have 2 officers in the courthouse over here. How does that help? Think about it. Before you spend the money, think about it. Think about the future. That's all I got to say. Sorry I sound upset.
Thank you.
All right, communications from elected and appointed county officials. John, I know you wanted to talk.
Yes. I wanted to bring to the county's attention, to the county board's attention, that the Illinois State Historical Society recognized our office and the Tazewell County Veterans Affairs Commission this past month. The Veterans Office, Steve Saul and myself undertook the objective of trying to identify the last remaining World War II veterans in Tazewell County. The list began last year. We started compiling it with sending out requests to citizens. At the time, there were 19 World War II veterans left in Tazewell County. Since then, the date that we sent this in and the date we were recognized, over the last couple months, we've lost 3 of them. We are down to only 16 World War II vets left in our county. The youngest is 95 and the oldest is 106. We are doing this project, collecting these names and bringing attention to them, and I hope that communities throughout Tazewell County and groups will take this opportunity to talk with these veterans, to gather wisdom from their insights about why they enlisted, what they did during the conflict, so that we can collect their stories while they're still here. With only 16 of them left, 3 leaving us within the last couple months, it's not going to be long before the greatest generation's voice is silenced forever here in Tazewell County. We were honored that the State Historical Society would recognize us for this endeavor. Also recognized was our office for working with ArcaSearch to, thanks to the investment by the county board, digitize all of our county board minutes. We are the only county in the state of Illinois that has them all digitized and available for the public's review, and several research groups are already utilizing that to research our county board minutes for historical data. The other one I wanted to bring up was our office, along with the City of Pekin, Pekin Chamber, Pekin Main Street, Tazewell County Genealogical and Historical Society, YWCA, Pekin High School, and Pekin historian Jerry Oler were all recognized for our efforts with Legan's Costley Park. Separately, and I was most proud, the high school students and teachers at Pekin High School are independently recognized for their website and their research on Nancy Costley that led up to that. For a state historical society to recognize 4 major groups here, or 4 major endeavors in our county, I think it's something to be quite proud of. Our office especially is proud to be recognized by them. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thank you.
All right, any other? Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would normally do this during the finance meeting, but it's just as well we do this tonight. I just want to bring forth, make the board aware of the efforts of our Treasurer Clark, on her handling of the county's investments. She does a nice job of balancing those investments in the CDs and across the banks in Tazewell County, and I know the banks in Tazewell County appreciate those. But CDs, as we all know, that the interest rates have gone up, and CDs tie up your money. Well, she was able to find, and I'll let her explain that if anybody's got questions, I can answer her afterwards. But she's been able to keep our money liquid and pooling it in with other governmental agencies in the state, so that our money remains liquid, but yet is earning the 5% interest rates that CDs are paying. So we have access to the money, but we're still earning safely those high interest rates to the tune of about $180,000 a month. So I just wanted to congratulate her on those efforts and make the public aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Hannah, and your staff. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Brett?
Thanks for your time for a little bit of this. I am not currently your board chairman, but the way things look, odds are I will be coming up here in the fall. And I believe that silence gives consent, and so I want to talk just a few moments about custodian and different things going on, because I do not consent. I am fortunate enough they let me on the committee, the selection committee, and I have extreme confidence in PJ here and Wold, that they are the right people to do the building that we do need downtown. No question in my mind, we need it, and they are the guys to do it. What I have a problem with is the price tag and the different things that's going along with it. And some of the reason of that is because we're giving them a price tag of roughly $30 million, 28, 32, roughly $30 million. And in doing that, we've already had experience with them telling us that what we want, an 80,000 square foot, 6-courtroom building, won't work with those numbers. So it's already shrinking down by roughly 30%. On your agenda tonight is an epoxy floor that you're putting down because you missed that by 30 to 40%. You missed the McKenzie building windows the first time by $1 million. And so, while there's some of those that we are a little bit over on our estimation, there's a whole lot of them that we're short. And you have a $20 million area in your CIP fund that you're saying, this is what we're budgeting. What if it's 30% short? What if all of a sudden, instead of $20 million, you need $26 million? The availability of money that you have for the new building goes down. How about addressing the salaries, some of the different things, the infrastructure, some of the computers? I think there's also something on there for pulling money from contingency so that you can take care of some servers and some different things. Those need to be addressed before we look at this kind of spend. Again, I have complete confidence in their abilities, and we do need something down here. But we need to think about what we're going to spend on it before. I haven't called anybody. I've talked to some, I've done some, but I'm not the board chairman yet, not my job. I'm not doing anything out of respect for Dave. But I want you to understand that it's not right. Where some of this stuff is coming, you are incorrect. I've had 25 years in construction experience. If I go into your house and you tell me that you want a $100,000 kitchen, I'm going to give you a $100,000 kitchen. I'm not going to come back and say I can do it for 50. I'm not going to come back and say I can do it for 120. When you tell them that you have a $30 million budget, they're not going to come back and say, we can do it for 22. So, I know we need something, but as opposed to telling them a $30 million budget, what if you tell them we have a $20 million budget? And then, if things go better, and things with the project that you've got come in on the track, then add to it. Do some of the different things instead of working down and cutting footings, such as what happened in this building, different parts of the project. Add to it by going more conservative on some of these things. PJ and Wold both told us that they would wait. This is our Tazewell team. That's what they told us when they were sitting there and we asked the question, what if we wait 6 months? What if we do this? Everyone said they would wait. I'm just asking that what you do is instead of being tired about talking about this, instead of thinking it might be a bad decision, but this way we get something moving because we've been talking about it for 18 months. Rushing it through, trying to have something done in November before an entire new board, before an entire new committee structure, before new committee people, chairman, all those different things are going to change come December. Instead of saddling everybody there with new things, let's let everybody have a good opinion on it and be conservative and not spend all this money. We're going to get stuck with those charges. That's all I have to say.
All right, anyone else? All right, can I get a motion to approve the January 31st meeting minutes? Motion by Hall, second by Harris. Any corrections, deletions, additions? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Those opposed? Minutes passed. We have 3 in-place meetings. The first is transportation. Chairman Mennel.
Yes, I'll call the Transportation Committee meeting to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Chairman Mennel,
Here.
Vice Chair Frail, here. Crawford, Deppert,
Here.
Hall,
Here.
Harris,
Here.
Nouns,
Here.
Paget.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. First of all, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the January meeting, please? Motion by Paget, second by Deppert. Any questions or corrections on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Next, we had letting for 2 projects. First one being aggregate for Cincinnati Township. is to stockpile aggregate for, their summer projects for seal coating. Could I have a motion? Motion by Harris, second by Trail. This is motor fuel tax, that's set aside for Cincinnati Township, but the committee has to approve it. Are there any questions about it? You want me to have Dan explain it? It's a pretty common thing that has to be done every year for their seal coating at Cincinnati Township. Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The next is a bridge repair in Hiddle Township. Could I have a motion to get T-24-5 on the floor? Motion by Nelms, second by Deppert. This is to repair a township bridge. The low bid was $142,000. This is an existing bridge, but to replace the piling, estimates that our staff estimates this will add 40 plus years to the life of this bridge. Does anybody have any questions about it? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. On to new business, T-24-6. Could I have a motion, please? Motion by Trail, second by Paget. I'm gonna let Dan Parr, our county engineer, explain these next two. They're kind of connected, they're similar, and I'm just gonna let him quickly explain what we're talking about here.
And Dan, if you don't mind just using Russ's microphone.
The first one, and the second one, T-24-6 and T-24-7, both have to do with Toboggan Road. Last year, T-23-02 gave us an engineering services agreement so we could repair some embankment issues that we're having on Toboggan. And everything was fine and dandy, but the problem that is the groundwater is very high there, and there's a creek that comes along the toe of the slope. And so while we were actually addressing the initial problem, a second problem has arisen. And so, and it's closer to the creek, which means that we're gonna have to get an environmental survey request, and the scope of the project has increased, and we've actually worked with maybe intercepting the water on the south side of the road, which we should help with the embankment issues. So the scope is larger, and so we're having to have, first of all, an engineering agreement, and it is motor fuel tax, so these are forms that must go to IDOT to get their approval. Second, T-24-7 is a standard document that needs to go to IDOT anytime we increase the expenditure, our annual expenditure on fuel tax. So it's fairly routine, but we're chasing kind of a moving target here.
Is there any questions for Dan? Yes.
In reading this the other night on the project description, it says Fulton County.
Fulton County.
Yes. Page 8 on the DOT paperwork. About a third of the way down.
Down.
In that box.
Well,
Says
I make a motion to amend it to read Tazewell County.
Motion by Harris, second by Depper. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Back to the, original motion, can we take both of these at once, or do we have to do it together?
I think you can take both of them
I
at once.
would amend my motion to include both of those.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Hall.
All right, are we good?
Yep.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, T 24-6 and T 24-7 pass. Thank you, we're adjourned.
Thank you, Greg. In-place property, Chairman Longfellow.
Thank you, Chairman. Can we call roll, please?
Chairman Longfellow.
Here.
Vice Chair Mingus. Atkins.
Here.
Mark Otter.
Here.
Graff.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
Josteen.
Here.
Rich Stimson. Here. Schneider. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Need a motion for F 24-07, recommend to approve. Nope, wrong one, sorry. P 24-05, recommend to approve asbestos abatement for the second phase of the McKenzie building. Have a motion on that? Kim? Mr. Goddard? This is, this spring we plan on moving into phase 2 on all the other windows that we didn't replace on phase 1 of the McKenzie, and this is to approve the asbestos abatement for, the window project for the M&O. Any questions? None? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. We are in recess. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And then in-place finance, Chairman Greg.
Thank you. Call the Finance Committee to order. Would you call the roll, please?
Chairman Graff.
Here.
Vice Chair Schneider. Atkins.
Here.
Depper.
Here.
Sam Goddard.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Tribal.
Here.
Longfellow.
Here.
Mennel.
Here.
Mingus.
Here.
Frail. Here. Rich Stimson. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to get F 2407, recommend to approve purchase of Microsoft server licenses on the floor? Grable, Goddard, Mike, would you please lead us through this?
This is part of the major technology upgrades we're doing. Our technologies have gotten to a point where they're ready to update some of the servers and the server licenses. And so this would bring us to the most current server standards. It would be buying the server licenses with 3-year assurances with that product. With the funding, we had budgeted $100,000 in the local assistance and tribal consistency grant fund. Basically, this was a separate $100,000 that we had gotten that was similar to the ARPA funds, and we had budgeted to use it for technology purposes through the budget process. So the first $100,000 would come from there, and the rest would come from the IT general fund budget. Certainly answer any other questions.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're in recess.
Thank you, Nick. It brings us down to the consent agenda. Items 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, and 12 are automatically pulled. Anything else? 7 and 8? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, and 12. Can I get a motion for the remainder? Motion by Atkins, second by Graff. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, back to, transportation, T 24-4. Can I get a motion to get this on the floor? Motion by Prail, second by Harris. This just came out of committee. Any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Number 2, T 24-5. Can I get a motion to get this on the floor? Motion by Nelms, second by Hall. Any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. T24-6, can I get a motion to get this on the floor? Motion by Longfellow, second by Smith. Any questions? Greg?
You know, where exactly on Toboggan Road is this, Greg?
It's about
half a mile west of where Brownwood Road comes in.
So right over that overpass over 155, or where you at?
Mile and a half, yeah.
Which side?
We're on the west side of 155.
So that's where that road, that ditch comes right up to the road there, kind of where Brownwood turns off there, is that?
Yes, exactly. And it's,
Okay.
as a crow flies, it's kind of south of the
Yep,
Guinea Creek
okay.
landfill.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item 4, T24-7, can I get a motion to get this on the floor? Motion by Nelms, second by Atkins. Any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Abstain on that one? Okay. So noted. Down to property P2403, item 7, can I get a motion to get this on the floor? Motion by Atkins, second by Mennel. Mike, you pulled this?
Yes, I did, and I expressed my concern in, property, even though I'm not in the committee. And I'll read it. The ARPA committee established 4 items, which one of them was a need for a building, and we established the need. And in the ensuing 2 years, that need's been shelved, and in my perspective, we're trying to fill the building that'll cost us $28 to $32 million without really knowing what our need is or why we're gonna do it. I'm not going to support either one unless we decide to have a consultant determine our needs and then cost it out and see where we're at. So
We've been talking about our needs for 2 years.
we've been talking about build the building, 80,000 square feet, and moving everybody in that we can. And I disagree with it, so I'm not gonna support it.
All right, any other comments or questions? All those in favor signify by aye. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 second.
I'd like to respond a little bit, if I could, to Mr. Harris. He's correct, the ARPA determined we should do that, and the ARPA monies, and ARPA's been beat up, tore up, twisted around from what it was originally set out to do. And as far as I know, we're in compliance with what the ARPA says legally, but I don't think morally we're in compliance with that. And politics be what they may out of Washington. We were given $26 million to do pretty much whatever the heck we wanted, as long as it met the guidelines. And we appointed a committee, and the committee came up with those 4 items. And we've done the 3 of them, and I think they've all been worthwhile. I think they've all been done. But this ARPA money came out of COVID. And it was a time in our country where we were concerned about COVID and how we could prevent or mitigate future outbreaks of a similar nature. I love our old courthouse, but you can't make it work in today's modern world. Not just COVID, but everything in general. It just doesn't work. We've got an opportunity here. We've got about roughly $20 million left of that COVID funds to spend on a new facility that would assist us. It may not do everything we want it to do, but it will assist us. And as a board member, I feel that sitting here spending $20 million of federal money from Washington that we didn't ask for, that they just said, here you go, and 33% of our money on a new facility is something that will benefit the taxpayers of Tazewell County for a very long time to come. We do have plans about what we're going to do with this building. We have plans to take 2 buildings offline and get rid of them. The buildings can best be described as money pits that we're talking about taking offline. So while there's a great deal of consternation and hand-wringing about should we do this, we are at a time where we need to decide if we're going to do this or not. What we've done, in my opinion, pretty much amounts to fraud over what the initial money were for. The initial money was supposed to be obligated by the end of this year and spent by the end of 2026. They changed the rules. We've put things around. We weren't supposed to be able to use it to increase reserves. Guess where that money's sitting at today? It's in reserves. And we weren't supposed to do it that way. I personally don't think Tazewell County, I think our word is worth more than just putting it in reserves. I'm kind of the opinion now, and I've said this before, and I kind of agree with Mr. Lutz. If we're not going to spend it appropriately, let's give it back. And I think everybody up here would argue with me, that's stupid, Graf. And it is. Even Russ would say that's stupid. But we have the opportunity. We are not committing tonight to spending a $30 million, $32 million, $36 million, $40 million building. We are approving a general contractor and an architect. We're going to pay the architect $2 million to do the study that Mike and everybody else is asking for. And we've been talking about this since we've got the money. If we don't spend this money now, we will never spend this money. We will never do anything that will benefit the court system of Tazewell County. We will never we'll never have an opportunity like this again. And I don't know what else to do if this doesn't pass. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Brian?
Yeah, I'd like to just kind of defend the property committee a little bit. It's easy to pull out, we did this wrong and that wrong. For example, what we heard earlier, $600,000 over on the McKenzie windows. Well, the original proposal was 3 years earlier, and we went through an administrator and a chief financial officer and a bidding person, and it delayed that whole process, almost a year and a half. And I can easily say we saved money on the parking lots, we're saving money on the Broadway building because of all our procurement rules. I just hate to see one thing get pulled out that says, we need to slow things down or we're jumping into things. I understand where Brett is on being chairman, and obviously there are people in the room that want to spend $20 million. There's people in the room that want to spend $34 million. There's people in the room that don't want to spend anything. But the whole process here is we're trying to better just the operations of Tazewell County, modernize it, make it secure and safe. And I think we know how we do it and we do a good job at it. So I just wanted to say that.
Mike? A couple of questions. I thought the ARPA money was used up on legal things, and then the general fund money that we're gonna use for that was set aside into reserve. So I thought the ARPA money, and technically, is protected, and we don't have any deadlines on it. And then the second thing is, Nick said 20 million, this resolution says 28 to 32. So
22 to 20 was the remaining ARPA funds. He didn't, and then he talked about the reserves after that. All right. Any other comments or questions? Greg?
I've had reservations about this, but I'm gonna support it. We need to move forward. We got the people in place to help us to get what we need, and with all due respect, there was a good portion of this ARPA money that had no strings attached to it. So to say that we're committing fraud or something, to me, is not, I don't agree with. And so we went ahead and we used ARPA money for things that, like courthouse, things at the McKenzie building, the health department, and now we're gonna take what's left and add to it for this project. And so, with all my reservations, I think we're going, you know, I don't wanna spend over 30 million either, but we need to move forward and address the issues we have at the courthouse, safety, things like that. And well, we have the people in place to help us figure that out now, so we need to move forward.
Anyone else? John?
Just quickly, pretty new to the discussion, obviously, but seeing the need from just the early perspective here, definitely support the idea of a new courthouse. With having some recent experience in a commercial project that I'm currently working on, I also understand Brett's point of the cost and how a lot of those things have really climbed. I think in general I'd be supportive of the new building, but in general tonight I plan to abstain for both of these just because of timing of being so new to the discussion.
Any other comments or questions? Roy?
Yes, I'm somewhat in opposition, only in that when you go back through the history since 1975, county doesn't have a very good track record in their acquisition of buildings. Everything has certainly been underutilized, and it seems like we just, the concern is the underutilization. And what's to say, based on our track record, and I get it, other administrations in the past where we have fallen short. I think history tells a story. I think we should pay attention to what happened in the past, particularly with the underutilization. My concern, of course, is I don't think we need 80,000 square feet. I think we need to come to some agreement. I think the new chairman has expressed his concerns. I think we've done the studies, or we're getting, I think Mr. Graff spoke of that, and trying to get an idea what our needs are. The track record is not good, and that's what makes me a bit concerned, so
Mike?
I agree on buildings is needed, and I guess I'm disagreeing with the process. And then the second issue, I disagree with Roy on the track record of our building use.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor of this signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Aye. Motion passes. Raise your hands if you voted against.
Hands still, please, sorry. Harris?
Motion passes.
Anybody on this side?
Can I get a motion for P2404? Motion by Atkins, second by Graff. This is on the architect. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Raise your hand. Motion passes. Item 9, can I get a motion for P2405? Motion by Hopkins, second by Mingus. This is on the abatement of the windows. Any questions?
What was the overrun on this, on the whole project?
How much, just go ahead, Greg.
This project, this is another point of property committee trying to save us money. This project came in, it was estimated 3 years earlier, but the project came in at $2 million, and then we sent it back out for rebidding, and it came in at 1.5. So right there, you know, just because we have good administration and they supported this thing, just We just needed more bidders is what we needed. When we sent it out for second bidding, it came in at 1.5.
So we're gonna meet the 1.5, we're not gonna go over that.
It'll be, it got approved for that 1.5, but this asbestos will be on top of that. So 45,000 for, the first part of asbestos removal and 45,000 for the second phase.
And any other questions?
Will it be the same, company that did the asbestos removal on the buildings, Greg?
Yeah, it's M&O, so they'll do both.
Will they, pay attention this time, make sure that asbestos is not laid out in the alley anywhere? I guess we
Yeah.
are.
So, that's enough, we're not gonna go down that road. We're not gonna impugn companies without any kind of proof like that,
They're
so.
professional in asbestos removal, so.
All those in favor of this signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Finally, F2407, the Microsoft server licenses. Motion by Hall, second by Preo. Any questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Down to unfinished business. Any unfinished business? I just have a couple of announcements. I just wanted to publicly thank the city of Pekin for vacating the street for us. And that's just one more step in our process of moving forward. UCCI has a leadership academy. I know many of the board here have taken this class before. If you are interested, please let me know. It's 2 separate weekends down in Champaign, and they cover all the costs. So,
If it's acceptable, I just wanted to say that, there is one exceptionally good speaker at that academy. He's a local attorney, and also a member of this board.
a good local attorney. No, that's great, Bill. I didn't realize that. So see me if you're interested in that. And that's it for any unfinished business. Okay, the bills have been sent out. Thank you, Hannah. Appreciate that. The calendar's in front of us. Any changes? Can I get a motion to approve the calendar? Motion by Atkins, second by Deppert. Any changes? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Those opposed? We are adjourned till March 27th. Thank you, everyone.